Hello everyone. Welcome to the series on Salesforce flows. Today, we will look into after record trigger flows. Let's recap what we have discussed earlier in earlier session. First, we have introduced what are record trigger flows. We understood what is a record trigger flow. Then, we also understood what are the different types of record trigger flows. Like one is before record trigger flows and after record trigger flows. Then, we saw a few examples on before record trigger flows. So today, let's dive into understanding and writing some examples on after record trigger flows. So for this, let's see a use case for this. So the scenario one. So what I need is when an email message is received on existing case, which is created using email to case, then update the status on case to response received. So what is the scenario here is I have created a case using email to case scenario. And on case, we have different kinds of status. Whenever a customer replies back to an email which was sent earlier, then the status of the case should be changed to response received. So for this scenario, what we have to do is it's a clearly a after record trigger flow. So why we need to understand first. So here the triggering point is whenever a new email is being sent by the customer. So that means there's an object called email message on which a new inbound email is record is created for that particular case. So whenever a email record case email message record gets created, then you want to update its related or associated case status. So you are going with the related record. So whenever there is a related record updation, then we always should concentrate or we always needs to think like we need to use the after update record trigger flows. So let's see in example. So I have a email to case setup where I have set up the email to case, and whenever customer use this email service address, he can send an email to Salesforce. So what I'm doing quickly is I'm composing an email, test email to case scenario. So that's the description, and the sorry, that's its subject, and the description is want to check my status on the complaint. Okay, I'm just sending an email. I've sent an email. Let's see. Whenever an email is sent using email to case, automatically a case gets created in Salesforce. So if you see here, a new case got created and I have one email associated. Okay. Now, first we will start creating a flow, but what is the scenario is now, once I reply to the customer, like I just want to reply to the customer saying like, hello, sir, we are working on your complaint. Send. So I've sent this. Okay. And I'm changing the status of the case to email sent. Just updating the fields which are required fields. Save. Now the scenario says when an email message is received on existing case created using email to case, then update the status on case to response received. So now when a customer, now I have received the case, email. Now, if a customer replies on top of this, so that my agent should understand that a email has been sent by the customer back, right? So what we are doing is automatically we are updating this status to response received. That is what the flow needs to be done. So let's uh, first create a flow and understand how we can update that. Just flow. I'm creating a new flow. which is a record trigger flow. So select record trigger flow. Con. What is an object? Since I need to check when an email is getting created, right? So the first object that we need to select is email message. That is the object on which the triggering point happens. Okay. Now, whenever it's created, it's not about updating because email messages, we are not going to update it. We are just going to always a new records gets created and you open that email message. So it's always on create. A record is created. And in the edit, let's see the conditions. Like there are two types of email messages that gets created. One is inbound, one is outbound. So if you see the existing emails, the one which we got from the customer, we say it is an inbound email. Okay. And the one which agent has sent to the customer, this is an outbound email. So now, since again, customer is going to send back the email to us, it's again a email, inbound email. So we need to put a condition saying like this logic should only work when the email is a inbound email. That is nothing but incoming. So incoming is true. So if it is outbound, you should not execute this logic. So that's what we are going to do. Okay. Now, as we know, since it's a after record trigger flows, we are going to use actions and related records. Okay. So that's the step one where we are putting the conditions like whenever a email record is getting created and it is an inbound email to the system, then fire this flow. Now, what we want to do, we want to first check what is the status of the case. So maybe there are multiple times a email to case gets created. Even the first time when an email to case comes, the status of the case is new. So I don't want to update the status every time a email is sent by the customer. That is, an incoming email gets created. I don't want in that all in those scenarios. I want only when the case status is email sent, then only I need to update this status to response received when an incoming email comes. So I need to put a condition that first put a decision, check case status. Case status is email sent. Then only you want to do. Otherwise, no. Case status. Okay. Now check the status. So how are we going to check the status? Because email message is one of the kind of a child record for the case in this scenario. We need to get the parent record that is nothing but a case record. So how are we going to get? As we saw in the earlier session, we use record variables, dollar record, global variables to get the current record details. Like current record is email record. So first I'm getting the current record. On this, there is a case field, which is a parent field, which is a lookup to the case record. Now I'm going to get the corresponding case which is associated with this email. I'm going to get that. And then I'm going to check the status. Is status equals which one? Email sent. Then only you execute this. Otherwise, no. So now I have two paths. One, whenever I want emails, status is email sent, then what I want to do, I want to update the related record. So here the related record is case. So I want to update the case status. So you can directly use update related records. So update case status. Update related record to the email message that triggered the flow. What is the related record? It's nothing but case. So get the case details. In the case, okay, sorry. Yeah. Just this is the record which you want to update. In this, what you want to update? You want to update status field to response received. So this is what we want to do. And we are not putting any more conditions on this. Already we have a condition here. So either we can use the condition here or we can put the conditions here. So any way we can do this. So done. I can, yeah, if the condition is not met, it will come into this. Now let's save this, right? Update case status on incoming email. So whenever incoming email is received and email, then update is status. Okay, save. So let's test this. So we already have a email record. Let's open the email record. So think like for the testing, we can use this as a email record. I think we can use from here. Your name, subject. Debug. So now we can search for the email record. Mm, Yeah, this is the record. Now you want to run this. Yeah, since why this has came, because this is an incoming record, first of all, even though this is a first record, and the current status of the case is email sent. So that's the reason it is satisfying. So if you see, it's satisfying because it is also an incoming email. But if we test it with outgoing email, like if I use this subject and again test it, it should not work. Debug again. Yeah, it didn't start. So see, it has failed. So now we can activate since it's working as expected. Now let's test real by sending an email. Now this is the email. Now I can I need to use the long email address for this scenario. Reply on that same email. I'm replying to, yes, thanks for the reply. Please solve my complaint. Okay. Now I need to receive one more mail. Yeah, I got the email. Now let's see the status. Yeah, it got updated. So this is how we can use record trigger flows after update record trigger flows to update the related records of a particular record. So this is one of the example. Now let's see another example. When a phone number is updated on account record, update corresponding phone field on all contacts related to the account. So now in the first scenario, it was from the child to parent, or it's not child to parent. Yeah, it's child to parent. And in the second scenario, it is from parent to child. Like I have one parent where I'm updating the record details. Automatically, some details should be updated on all corresponding child records. So this is where again we can go with after record trigger flows. And here the triggering point is whenever you're updating the account. So you're updating parent record and then you want to update all its child records. So now similarly like trigger, we will be writing the flow on account. Let's go. So create a new flow. record trigger flows account. So the object is account. Now I just want to write this on update, not create or created or update. Why? Because I cannot write a logic on a creation time, because on the creation time of a particular parent record, there are no child record exists. So there is no chance of having this logic for on create or created or updated. It's only on the updated scenario. So let's have this and set the entry condition as there is no entry condition, because okay, we can do right. Like we can have more secured, like more what do you say? Yeah, entry condition. If you put like so, only those records will enter into the flow. Otherwise, if we are not putting any entry condition, what happens is all the records will enter into this flow, which we don't want in the real scenarios. So what I want to do it here is the phone field. The phone field is updated, means nothing but whenever it is changed. So whenever it is changed, then only I want to run this logic. Otherwise, I don't want to run. Like if I'm updating some other field on the account, I should not run this logic, which will uh, use your CPU time, right? So it's not required for me, or even its memory time or the runtime will be increased whenever you're running this logic for all the updates on the account, which we don't want. So that's the reason we have put the condition. And yeah, now let's start. Whenever there's a change in the phone field, now what we want to do, update related records. Directly we can do this. So click on this, update phone field on contact. Use the phone field, and what is the related record? It's contacts. Okay, this is the related record. Now you're updating all. You can also put some other condition like if phone field is null, false. So yeah, now we have added the condition phone field should not be null. Only take those contacts which has phone field not empty. Then update the phone field with the accounts phone field. So get the record, current record, and its phone field. Save the save, activate. Now let's go to case records. This is the phone field on case, and we have two related contacts. So what we will do first, we will remove in one of the contact phone field. Just remove it. Save. So that this will not get updated. Only the other contact which has this value should get updated. Let's go and update the to file. Save. Now this don't see here, but this got updated. Now let's have this value on save. Okay. Now I'm updating it to 6. Now you see 6, 6. So this got updated. All the related records of the account got updated. So that is what about this scenario. Next, we have few more scenarios like for after update record trigger flows. Send an email every time a new account is created. So in this scenario, what happens is whenever you're going to create a record on an account, you want to send an email to its owner. or to its manager, like the users who created his manager. Like if you want to send, you can use record trigger flows after record trigger flows on account. Send a notification to support agent when status field is updated to email receive. As we saw in the earlier example, in the first example, whenever customers send back the email, there should be a notification to the agent saying like, okay, you have received back a response from the customer. Then you can write a record trigger flow on an after update. Whenever a case status gets updated, then automatically send a notification. Or whenever an email is received using an email record, then update the agent who is the owner of that case. So like this, we can also do these two scenarios. But let's see few more scenarios, which I'm going to discuss in the next session, like create related records. So whenever an opportunity is created, automatically generate a related task to follow up with the client. Next, send notification, which we saw earlier. When a case is updated to high priority status, send an email to the assigned support agent. You just want to send an email or a notification, bell notification. Update parent record. When all child cases related to account are marked as complete, update account status to case closed. Like we have child cases associated to the account, and all child cases are closed. Then you want to update status on the account saying like cases closed. Sync records across objects. Like when a contact email is updated, ensure that related user records are updated with a new email. Here, maybe there is no connection between contact and user, but if you want to update, then you can also use this. The earlier scenario was we have updated a phone field on an account, then we updated all the contacts. But here it's not a parent-child relationship, but you want to update. Next, log data changes. Create a custom record in change log object whenever an account rating is changed. So you want to maintain something logs for a account change status. Whenever there is a change in the rating for the account, you want to log it in some other object to maintain some logging information. Then you can use record trigger flows after record trigger. Assign ownership. Whenever a new account is created and meets a specific criteria, assign it to specialized sales representative. Suppose I'm creating an account and on update or on create, if some criteria is missed, like these accounts should be assigned to a particular agent. He's more into sales and he's more into converting those accounts into profits or product winning the products, then you can use this logic. Integrate with external system, yeah. Whenever there is a change in an account or some details in system, like here the order details, then you want to update that information in the external system. You can do this by sending a request to the external system using REST API calls. Maintain data consistency, yeah. Ensuring the billing address of an account is always synced with the primary contact's address. So whenever they change in the contact address, primary contact address of a particular account, then you want to update the billing address on the account. That also you can do. So this is all we are going to see in the next session. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you.